A tragic house fire in New Jersey claimed the lives of a grandmother and her 9-month-old granddaughter.
My niece-in-law lost her life, and my great-great-niece lost her life.
3:40 in the morning. Your phone buzzes. You're half asleep, but you reach for it anyway. It's a text from your ex, the one you've been trying to get away from, the one who's been making threats. The message is short, direct, terrifying. Get our child out of the house. You stare at the screen. Is this a joke? A threat? A warning? Your heart starts racing. You're about to get up when you smell smoke. You hear crackling. You look toward the hallway and see orange light dancing on the walls. The fire is already inside. This isn't a hypothetical. This happened to Princess Jones on July 9, 2021, in Hamilton Township, New Jersey. 7 people were asleep in that house. A grandmother who'd prayed for God's protection, a grandfather who loved to dance, an 18-year-old with his whole life ahead of him, and a 9-month-old baby girl. The man who sent that text? He was already walking away, hoodie pulled low, gloves in his pocket, watching the flames climb higher. By the time the sun came up, 4 people would be dead or dying. And the father of that baby? He'd post on social media, "This wasn't the plan. This wasn't supposed to end like this." But here's the thing that'll mess you up. He knew they were inside. He warned the mother. And then he lit the fire anyway. So what was the plan, Michael? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you wanted to burn their world down, and you didn't care who got caught in the flames. Welcome to Shadows of Crime. I'm your host, and today we're breaking down one of the most twisted cases of revenge, rage, and domestic violence you'll ever hear. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and share this video, because stories like this, they need to be told. And drop a comment right now. Tell us where you're watching from today. Let's build this community. Now let's get into it. Before we talk about the monster, let's talk about the family he destroyed. Tiffany Abrams Jones was 42 years old, a mother, a grandmother, a woman of faith who posted about God's protection and family love on social media like it was her lifeline. And maybe it was, because in her world, family meant everything. Her husband, Prince Jones, was 50. They'd been together for 24 years, 10 of those as husband and wife. You know those couples that make you believe in love? The ones who still look at each other like they're the only person in the room? That was Tiffany and Prince. Their wedding photos show a man in a sharp suit and a woman glowing in her dress. But it wasn't just the wedding day, it was every day after. Anniversary posts, family barbecues, Prince dancing at gatherings, arms wide, smile bigger. Tiffany capturing every moment, writing captions about gratitude and blessings. On their anniversary, she posted throwback photos spanning 2 decades. The caption was pure joy, pure love, the kind of post that makes you stop scrolling and think, that's what I want. But then there's the other post, the one that'll haunt you. August 31st, 2020, less than a year before the fire. Tiffany wrote, "Death is hitting families left and right nowadays. God, please protect me and mine as well as whoever reads this post." She felt it, something in the air, something coming, and she prayed hard. But prayers don't always get answered the way we want. Their daughter, Princess Jones, was 24. Bright smile, big dreams, the kind of young woman who lit up every room she walked into. She was close to her parents, the kind of close where you call your mom about everything and your dad's the first person you run to when life gets hard. Princess was navigating young adulthood the way most of us do, figuring out relationships, trying to build a future, making mistakes, learning lessons. She had a daughter to raise, and she was determined to do it right. In 2020, Princess got pregnant. The father was her boyfriend, Michael Sanders. He was 23, seemed like a regular guy, showed up to family events, smiled for the camera. The baby shower was everything you'd expect. Pink balloons, pink streamers, pink everything. Friends and family packed the backyard. Tiffany beamed with pride, already imagining all the memories she'd make with her granddaughter. Prince? He was dancing. Of course he was. That man couldn't help himself when there was music and joy in the air. Michael was there too, standing next to Princess, playing the role of excited father-to-be. Nobody saw the cracks. Or maybe they did, and they just hoped love would be enough to fix them. October 2020, baby Milani Sanders was born. Sweet, happy, the kind of baby that makes you forget how exhausting newborns can be, because her smile is just that good. She was born on her great-great-uncle's birthday, which made her extra special to him. He'd later say she was a gift. For a while, everything seemed fine. Princess had her baby, Tiffany and Prince had their granddaughter, the family was growing, thriving. But by mid-2021, the fairy tale was over. Princess and Michael's relationship was falling apart fast. And when it did, Princess made a choice that probably saved her life in the short term, but set everything else on fire. She left him. If you've ever stayed with someone you knew was dangerous, or watched a friend do it, drop your story below. No judgment, just truth. Because maybe your story will help someone else get out before it's too late. Michael Sanders was 23 years old, and before we go any further, you need to know something about him. He had a history, not the kind you hear about at family dinners, the kind that shows up in police reports and court records, the kind that should have had every alarm bell in the world going off. Before Princess, before Milani, before any of this, Michael had another girlfriend. And when that relationship ended, when she decided she was done with him, he grabbed a gun and fired 7 shots into her car. Not 1, not 2, 7. Let that sink in for a second. This wasn't a shove during an argument. This wasn't throwing something across the room in anger. This was a man who, when faced with rejection, decided the appropriate response was attempted murder. And somehow Princess ended up with him anyway. Maybe she didn't know. Maybe he hid it well. Maybe she thought she could be the one to change him. We've all seen that story play out, haven't we? The belief that love can fix broken men, that if you just try hard enough, stay patient enough, give enough of yourself, he'll become the person you need him to be. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work that way. For a while, things seemed okay. Princess got pregnant. They celebrated at the baby shower together. Milani was born, and Michael played the part of proud father. Photos show him holding his daughter, smiling, but beneath the surface, something was rotting. By the summer of 2021, Princess was done. She'd seen enough, heard enough, felt enough. Whatever was happening between them, she knew she needed out. So she moved back in with her parents at 213 Woodlawn Avenue in Hamilton Township. Her younger brother, Zamer McCrae, just 18 years old, was living there too. It was supposed to be a safe space, a place where Princess could heal, regroup, and figure out her next move with the support of people who actually loved her. But Michael? He was watching, and he was furious. Because here's the thing about men like Michael Sanders. They don't see their partners as people. They see them as possessions. And when you try to take back what they think belongs to them, when you dare to move on, to be happy without them, to show the world that you're better off, that's when they become dangerous. The threat started. We don't know every detail, what was said, how often, how explicit, but people close to the family knew Michael was making threats. Against Princess, against her family, dark, ugly threats that should have been taken more seriously. Looking back, everyone wishes they'd done more. Called the police, pushed harder, taken him at his word. But hindsight is cruel like that, isn't it? Princess was living her life. Tiffany was enjoying her granddaughter. Prince was being Prince, dancing, laughing, loving his family. Zamer was just a teen trying to figure out adulthood. None of them knew that Michael Sanders was planning something. That rejection had turned into obsession. That obsession had turned into rage. And that rage was about to turn into a nightmare. Have you ever ignored a red flag because you wanted to believe the best in someone? Tell us in the comments, because sometimes Those red flags are the difference between life and death. July 9th, 2021. Just after 3 o'clock in the morning. Most people are asleep. The streets are empty. The world is quiet. Michael Sanders calls a taxi. He's not going far, just from his place in Trenton to Hamilton Township. But he doesn't want to be dropped off at the house. No, that would be too obvious, too easy to trace. So, he tells the driver to let him out about a block away from 213 Woodlawn Avenue. When he steps out of that cab, he's dressed like someone who doesn't want to be seen. Dark hoodie pulled up over his head, mask covering his face, white gloves on his hands. This isn't a man acting on impulse. This isn't a crime of passion. This is premeditated, planned, thought out. He walks past the house first, slowly, checking it out. Surveillance cameras in the neighborhood catch him moving through the shadows at 3:15 a.m. He's scoping the scene, looking for the best approach, making sure no one's awake, no one's watching. Except the cameras are watching, he just doesn't know it yet. 10 minutes later, he walks into a gas station. Now here's where it gets interesting. Michael's still wearing the mask, still trying to stay hidden. He walks up to the counter and asks for a torch lighter. The kind you use to light cigars. The kind that burns hot and fast. He grabs some cigars too, probably to make it look casual, like he's just a guy buying smoking supplies in the middle of the night. The cashier rings him up. Michael pays. And then, this is the moment that seals his fate. He pulls down his mask for just a second. Maybe it slipped. Maybe he needed to adjust it. Maybe he thought the camera angle wouldn't catch him, but it did. His face, clear as day, recorded, saved, evidence. He walks out of that gas station at 3:30 a.m., torchlighter in hand, and heads straight back toward Woodlawn Avenue. The cameras catch him again, walking with purpose now, no more hesitation. He knows what he's about to do. And then, right before he gets there, he pulls out his phone. He sends a text to Princess. We don't have the exact words, but witnesses say it told her to get their child out of the house, to get Milani out. Now, think about that for a second. He's warning her. He's giving her a heads up. But why? Was it guilt? A last-minute flicker of conscience? Did he think that if he warned her, he could burn the house down and somehow not be responsible for what happened next? Or was it something darker? A twisted way of making himself feel better. Like he could say, I told her to leave, it's not my fault she didn't listen. Either way, the text is sent, and Michael keeps walking. 3:40 a.m. He reaches the front porch of 213 Woodlawn Avenue. Inside, 7 people are asleep. Tiffany, Prince, Princess, Milani, Zamir, 2 others who lived in the duplex. Michael pulls out the torchlighter, flicks it on. The flame burns bright in the darkness, and then he sets the porch on fire. The wood catches fast. Flames spread across the front of the house, crawling up the walls, eating through the structure like it's made of paper. Within minutes, the fire is inside, racing through the rooms, filling the air with smoke. The duplex is old, wood frame construction. It doesn't stand a chance. Michael doesn't stick around to watch. He turns and walks away, back toward Trenton, back toward his house. The mask comes off, the gloves come off, the hoodie comes off. By the time the first 911 call comes in, he's already gone. But here's the thing, Michael. You can't outrun cameras. You can't outrun evidence, and you sure as hell can't outrun what you just did. Because while you're walking home, that house is burning. And everyone inside is about to pay the price for your rage. The first 911 call comes in at 3:40 a.m. There's a fire. Oh my God, there's a fire. People are inside. Then another call. And another. Neighbors are waking up to the smell of smoke and the sound of glass shattering from the heat. They look outside and see flames shooting out of 213 Woodlawn Avenue, lighting up the entire street. The fire department gets there fast, but it's already too late. The 2.5-story duplex is completely engulfed. Both sides of the building are burning. The roof is starting to collapse. And it's raining, which sounds like it should help, but it doesn't. The rain makes everything harder. The ladders are slippery. Visibility is worse. The firefighters are fighting the weather and the fire at the same time, and they know people are trapped inside. They can hear screaming. Firefighters smash through windows, kick down doors, crawl through smoke so thick they can't see their own hands. The heat is unbearable. The structure is failing. Every second counts, and every second feels like an eternity. They pull people out, one by one, burned, unconscious, barely breathing, but not everyone makes it out alive. Tiffany Abram Jones is found dead at the scene. The woman who prayed for God's protection. The grandmother who was supposed to watch Milani grow up, she died trying to save her grandkids. That's what family members said later. She didn't run. She didn't save herself. She went toward the fire, not away from it, and it killed her. Baby Milani is found dead too, 9 months old. She never had a chance, never got to take her first steps, never got to say her first word. Her whole life was ahead of her, and it ended in smoke and flames because her father couldn't handle rejection. Prince Jones is pulled out alive, but barely. His injuries are catastrophic, burns covering his body, smoke inhalation, trauma that no human should endure. He's rushed to the hospital, and for 2 weeks he fights. He fights harder than most people ever have to fight for anything, but on July 23rd, Prince Jones dies. The man who danced at his granddaughter's baby shower, the man who loved his wife for 24 years, the man who did everything right, gone. Demare McCrae, Princess's 18-year-old brother, is also pulled from the fire. He's alive, but 75% of his body is burned. 75%. Imagine that kind of pain. Imagine that kind of suffering. He holds on for weeks. Doctors do everything they can. But the damage is too severe. The burns are too deep. Demare dies weeks after the fire, becoming the 4th victim. An 18-year-old kid who had his whole life ahead of him. College, career, love, family, all of it stolen because Michael Sanders couldn't let go. Princess survives. Somehow she makes it out, with critical burns and injuries that will take months, maybe years to heal. But the physical scars, those are nothing compared to what she's lost. Her daughter, her mother, her father, her brother, everyone she loved most in this world. Gone in one night. 2 other people in the duplex are critically injured but survive. They'll carry the trauma that night for the rest of their lives. At the scene, family members are collapsing, screaming, sobbing. One of them, Milani's great-great-uncle, the man who shared her birthday with her, can barely get the words out.
My niece-in-law lost her life, and my great-great-niece lost her life, which was born last year on my birthday, which was my birthday present. Now, only gonna have memories of her now. This is all too much for me.
Firefighters are standing in the rain, staring at the smoldering wreckage, and one of them says it out loud. This is one of the most tragic nights in the history of the fire service. 4 people dead, a family destroyed, a community shattered, and Michael Sanders, he's at home, probably sleeping. Princess survived but lost everything in one night. Could you come back from that? Tell us in the comments what you'd do if you lost everyone you loved at once. While the Jones family is being pulled from a burning building, Michael Sanders is walking home. Surveillance cameras track his route. He's heading back to Bayard Street in Trenton, and he's shedding evidence as he goes. The mask? Gone. The gloves? Tossed. The dark hoodie he wore to hide his identity, he ditches it a few doors down from his own house, stuffing it at the bottom of a basement stairway, like that's going to make it disappear. Spoiler, it doesn't. By the time the sun comes up, the news is everywhere. 4 people dead or dying in a house fire. A baby killed, a family wiped out. Hamilton Township is in shock. The whole state is talking about it. And then Michael does something absolutely wild. He posts on social media. This wasn't the plan. This wasn't supposed to end like this. Never. R.I.P. Lanny. Read that again. This wasn't the plan. So there was a plan, Michael, just not this one? What exactly were you going for? Burn the house down but somehow everyone gets out safely? Scare them? Teach them a lesson? He's not apologizing for setting the fire. He's not saying, I didn't do it. He's saying it didn't go the way he wanted. That post is a confession wrapped in regret. And investigators see it immediately. Because while Michael's trying to play the grieving father online, detectives are already building a case that's going to bury him. They pulled surveillance footage from every camera in the area. The taxi drop-off, Michael walking past the house, the gas station purchase, his face when he pulled down the mask, him walking back toward Woodlawn Avenue, the reflection of flames starting just minutes after he passed by. Then they find the hoodie, right where he left it, still smelling like smoke. They talk to witnesses, people who heard the threats, people who knew Michael was spiraling. And they talk to Princess, burned, traumatized, barely able to speak. But she tells them about the text message, the warning he sent right before the fire started. Every piece of evidence points in one direction, straight at Michael Sanders. Monday morning, July 12th, just 3 days after the fire, police track him down to a hotel in Plainsboro, New Jersey. They knock on the door. He opens it, and when they tell him he's under arrest for murder, arson, and assault, he doesn't fight, doesn't run, doesn't even look surprised. He just goes quietly. Maybe he knew it was over. Maybe he thought he'd get away with it and reality finally hit. Or maybe he just didn't care anymore. He's charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder, 3 counts of felony murder, 2 counts of aggravated assault, 2 counts of aggravated arson, 1 count of causing widespread injury or damage. And that's just the beginning, because Prince is still in the hospital fighting for his life. Samer is hanging on by a thread. When they die, the charges will be updated. Michael Sanders sits in a cell and the world watches. The man who sent a warning text, the man who bought a torchlighter on camera, the man who posted "this wasn't the plan" while 4 people lay dead or dying. He thought he was smart. He thought he'd covered his tracks. But you can't hide from the truth, and the truth was about to destroy him in court. The trial takes over a month. And from the moment it starts, Michael Sanders doesn't stand a chance. The prosecution comes in with a case so airtight, so overwhelming, that even his own defense team knows they're fighting a losing battle. Let's break down what the jury sees. First, the surveillance footage. And there's a lot of it. Cameras all over Hamilton Township captured Michael's every move that night. The taxi drop-off, him walking past the house in his disguise, the gas station stop where he buys the torchlighter and cigars, that split second when he pulls down his mask and his face is right there on camera, clear as day. Then there's the footage of him walking back toward Woodlawn Avenue. And here's the kicker. 4 minutes after he passes by, you can see the reflection of flames starting to glow on the camera. 4 minutes. The timeline is devastating. There's no gap, no mystery, no room for doubt. Then comes the physical evidence. Detectives found the dark hoodie he ditched near his house. They matched it to what he was wearing on camera. They recovered the torchlighter from the scene. They documented the point of origin, the front porch, exactly where Michael would have had access. Arson experts testified that the fire was intentionally set. The burn patterns, the speed of the spread, the intensity. It all points to accelerant or an open flame source, like, say, a torchlighter. Then there's the text message, the one he sent to Princess right before everything went up in flames. Prosecutors argue it's proof. He knew exactly what he was about to do. He warned her. He gave her a chance to save their daughter. And then he lit the match anyway. The jury hears testimony from Princess scarred, broken but alive. She tells them about the threats, the anger, the way Michael couldn't accept that she'd moved on. They hear from family members who describe the terror of that night, the screaming, the smoke, the realization that people they loved were dying. And then there's Michael's own social media post. The prosecution hammers it home. He's not denying he did it. He's just upset it didn't go the way he wanted. What kind of father kills his own child and then posts about how it wasn't supposed to happen like that. The defense tries. They really do. Michael's attorney, Mark Fury, suggests his client was having a mental breakdown, that he wasn't in his right mind, that this was a tragic moment of insanity, not cold-blooded murder. But there's no history of mental illness, no documentation, no prior diagnosis. And the evidence of planning, the disguise, the taxi, the purchase, the text, destroys any claim that this was a spontaneous act. The jury doesn't buy it, not for a second. After weeks of testimony, they deliberate, and when they come back, the verdict is unanimous. Guilty. On every single count. 4 counts of first-degree murder, 4 counts of felony murder, 4 counts of aggravated assault, 2 counts of aggravated arson, 1 count of causing widespread injury or damage. Michael Sanders is sentenced to 4 life terms, one of them without the possibility of parole. He'll die in prison, and honestly, that's still too kind for what he did. Princess Jones survived, but she lost everything that mattered. Her daughter, her parents, her brother. All gone in one night because a man couldn't handle being told no. The community rallied. The Red Cross stepped in to help the families affected. Vigils were held, candles were lit, prayers were spoken, but none of it brings them back. Here's what we need to understand. Michael Sanders showed everyone who he was long before that fire. He fired 7 shots into his ex-girlfriend's car. That wasn't a warning sign, that was a billboard. When someone threatens you, believe them. When they show violence toward others, don't think you'll be different. And if you're leaving an abusive relationship, that's when you're in the most danger. Have a plan. Tell people. Get help. That text message Michael sent? If someone ever sends you something like that, anything that hints at harm, call 911 immediately. Don't wait. Don't second guess. If you're in an abusive relationship right now, there's help available. National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-7233. Text START to 88788. You are not alone, and your life is worth saving. Tiffany prayed for protection. Prince danced at his granddaughter's baby shower. Princess rebuilt her life. Milani was 9 months old. Zamer was 18. Michael Sanders took all of it in one night. He'll spend the rest of his life in prison, but that doesn't bring them back. Here's what keeps me up. If Princess had seen that text in time, would she have believed he'd actually do it? Would you? Rest in peace, Tiffany, Prince, Milani, and Zamer. This is Shadows of Crime. Subscribe. Share this story, because knowing the signs saves lives.